Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone, regular rollers time. Let's do this. I'll get started right after I mention that this week's list is brought to you by Greg Morris Cards. More on them coming up in just a bit. We'll start off with one sent by Kenneth, where we share an opinion on NFL players that are not quarterbacks having significantly lower priced rookie cards. I played offensive line in college, so my heart will always follow closely them the most. I just picked up this Joe Thomas 2007 SP rookie auto out of $6.99 for $66 all in. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer and widely considered to be the best left tackle of the 2000s. Most of us have him on our Mount Rushmore of offensive linemen. Yep, totally agree. Hall of Famer, no-brainer. A rookie auto at a $6.99 premium brand SP, $66. Yeah, love it. Next one was sent by M. Horowitz, and there were some shenanigans going on here. 1954 Topps Whitey Ford. It's graded a PSA good 2. You can see the photo's sort of blurry, and when you look at the listing, the photo's pretty zoomed out, and it's actually easy to miss that it's a 2, especially because in the title it's listed as a PSA 6. So you could very easily read the title here, PSA 6. Just take a quick glance at the photo and assume it's a 6. Because from this distance, it looks like it could be a 6, but obviously it's a 2. I don't know if this was intentional or an honest mistake, but either way, the buyer will have the option to return this card for full refund. Some sellers accept returns, others do not, but it doesn't matter. If an item is not as described, you always have the option to return it. Now, this went for $70. That's actually sort of a fair price for a 2. Looking at recent sales, 2s average around $60, so this price is totally reasonable. A PSA 6 would be hundreds of dollars, so I don't think anyone got duped here. This was sent by Daniel, who wrote, I went to Walmart looking for some 22 update. They had nothing, so I was driving home, and there was a rundown, dirty Big Lots. I've gotten cards from there before, but they overpriced their cards, but I decided to go in and see what they had. They had 8 fat packs of Series 2 in a stack, not even hung. I contemplated buying them all, but that usually doesn't work for me, so I just picked one in the middle. I then go to my car and rip expecting nothing, but then boom, this Julio Rodriguez is there, not even flipped upside down. I'll be sending it to BGS, hoping for a 9. Looks great, just some very light whitening on a corner and left edge. Wow, nice pull there. Congratulations. Next one sent by Lyle, who wrote, I normally look through the Goodwill auctions when I have a break at work. Can you tell me what's so special about this lot of Michael Jordan cards? I don't see anywhere near the value. Yeah, so this is on shopgoodwill.com. I've never actually looked on there before, but I don't know what's going on here. This is a lot of about 20 Michael Jordan cards. They're basically all from the early 90s. Most of these cards are worth maybe $1 or so, a couple maybe a little bit more than that, but there's no real value here. It went for $3,589, so I don't know what the scam is here, or hopefully no buyer out there actually paid this for $30 worth of cards or whatever it is. Here's another lot. This was sent by Joseph, who wrote, I PC most of the cards from my childhood. I always keep an eye out for Nolan Ryan. Lot says he's my favorite player of all time, along with Pedro Martinez. As you can see by the title of this lot, the seller totally missed the mark as he buried the lead, which certainly should have been the 1974 top singles, including the league leaders Ryan Seaver, which are arguably the 2 of the top 10 pitchers of all time, along with 374 Hank Aaron's, a John Smoltz Upper Deck rookie, and a nice 76 Jim Rice rookie cup card that I think it's safe to say that $6 all in was beyond a steal, and there's still plenty of other Hall of Fame cards in the lot. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. I actually count 5 of the Hank Aaron 1974 tribute cards, and assuming they're sort of mid-grade or whatever, those are going to easily, those are a few dollars each, so that'll easily get you, past your purchase price plus shipping already. And like you said, Smoltz rookie, Frank Thomas rookie, and the 89 Fleer Nolan Ryan, which was listed in the title, is really not one of the more significant cards in this listing. So, yeah, you got a really nice deal here. And we have yet another lot. This was sent by Tom, who wrote, I'm always interested in how to assess lots for not just intrinsic value, but for both the potential money-making resale value and also the best ways to maximize the potential profit. So from my novice point of view, I was looking at buying this lot all in for about $200, which is roughly 33 cents per card. I figured with all the duplicates that it was a good candidate for small lots of 5 to 10 cards per lot for maybe $16 or best offer. My worry was it could take a long time to even break even, let alone make any profit, and this type of buy-to-sell lot isn't that fun for me, with no big ticket cards or superstars. So I was out of the bidding with 3 hours to go, but I was still interested in your thoughts. Would you ever be a buyer? At what price per card would you buy this, and how would you resell the cards? So this is an interesting one, and yeah, I would actually be a buyer of this lot at this price here. But this is sort of my bread and butter, is vintage common lots. It's something I've been doing a long time, and I actually have on my buy sheet when I send to potential people looking to sell collections to me that I pay 50 cents per card on mid-grade 1960s commons, which this appears to be a 1963 Topps lot of commons, basically all commons. I didn't see a single star anywhere. And you got 606 of them, and assuming they're mid-grade, which is, the seller doesn't describe it very well condition-wise, but it appears to be a mid-grade lot. So I would pay $300 for this lot. Again, 50 cents per card. Your idea of breaking it up into smaller lots, 10 to 15 cards per lot, that will get extremely time-consuming. You could do that, and actually that would probably be the way to maximize your profit, is make a whole bunch of small lots, 10 different cards, 15 different cards. But that's a lot of work, probably more than is worth most people's time, so I wouldn't recommend that. I would buy this and make maybe 3 starter sets. I don't know if it would produce 3 starter sets, but 3 lots of, let's say, 150 different cards. I don't know if this lot would produce that, but probably would. And a starter set like that will, you can probably ask $1 to $1.25 per card and expect to get that. So if you paid $300 for this, you would double your money. Now, you're not going to, you've identified one of the major problems, which is you're not going to sell it very fast. It's going to take a while to get your money back, but this is the kind of thing that you will eventually get your money back, and probably double your money over time if you're willing to give it the time. Next up is a simple 1984 Donruss Ryan Sandberg. There isn't a whole lot to this card. Second year card of Rhino, generally worth about $1, but this one sold for $9, and the reason is because it's sold through Greg Morris Cards, who, as I mentioned at the beginning, is sponsoring this episode, and they're one of the most trusted names for selling raw vintage cards on eBay. They listed the card as near mint or better, provided high-res scans of both the front and the back, and because of their reputation and feedback, nearly 400,000 all positive, buyers are willing to pay a little bit more, knowing that if they say a card is near mint or better, it is. It's not going to arrive with some hidden wrinkle that the pictures didn't pick up or anything like that. So they have recently started a YouTube channel with content focused around the history of sports cards. A recent video they posted was about the play ball sets from 1939 to 1941. I recommend you check them out, both their eBay inventory and YouTube channel. I've included links to both in the description below. This one is sent by Philip, who I feel kind of crazy because am I the only one going after Andres Gimenez cards? He was a top 100 prospect for 3 years before getting called up and then traded in the Lindor deal. Last year he came in 7th for the MVP, was 3rd in the AL in WAR, behind just Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. He won a Gold Glove, and he's still only 24. So many prospects cards sell for so much, but I feel like very few prospects will ever get up to the level Gimenez has already reached. Anyway, I got this rookie Andres Gimenez auto for $13.50. Yeah, I mean, this isn't really my wheelhouse. I don't do a lot with sort of younger stars, but everything you said makes a lot of sense to me. This was sent by Guy, who wrote, I'm what so many people refer to affectionately as a conspiracy theorist. And when you look at this guy's history and accomplishments, he's one of the biggest actors of his generation. But when you look at what ends up happening to his autos here, it's pretty strange, actually. He's not somebody that has to pretend or anything like that to get attention. And if you look at interviews, he's clearly in control of his faculties. So I bought the blue auto out of 20 for $70 best offer. I think it's not only a great card as is, but when you look at what happened to him and then you look at the Leaf autos compared to other autograph cards from the same time, you have to wonder who actually signed these 2018 Leaf cards. The sketch cards are actually later than 2018. Yeah, that is interesting. I don't know how to explain that. It's almost like somebody was making a joke with these Leaf autographs. Maybe he was doing it, but I looked up Randy Quaid autographs on eBay. I don't see any other examples where he has this sort of childlike handwriting, so I don't know, exactly why that is. Next one sent by Grant, who wrote, I was looking for cheaper vintage slabs of Hall of Fame players, and I came across this listing. In a hobby that way overuses the term undergraded, the term overgraded is used only 3 times currently on eBay, including on this card. The seller even says in the description that the card should be graded a 1.5 to 2. I guess this is an example of buy the card, not the grade. Yeah, props to the seller here for being overly honest. BVG EX5, and they say that the card is overgraded, and they even go into detail in the description, saying it's more like a 1.5 to 2.5. It's lopsided, the corners are worn and creased, damage on the left and stained, and it has print defects. So yeah, props to the seller. This was sent by Mike, who wrote, I noticed this card was sold last week that someone was fooled for back on February 8th, and then it was relisted. It's a 2000 Bowman's Best signed card of A-Rod. The seller is pretty funny with what they're trying to pull by saying that it is signed. Yeah, this one's just sort of strange all around. Rare 2000 Bowman's Best Alex Rodriguez signed baseball card, 2 of 25. New York Yankees. Well, I mean, the card isn't signed. Doesn't even look signed. There's this little piece of paper in the middle with, I don't know what that is, but a doodle on it. The card's not rare, as listed in the title. And it's not 2 of 25. It's not serial numbered at all. You can see on the back there's no serial. And it's not even number 2. It's card number 55. So I don't know what's going on here. A lot of shenanigans. Luckily, it's at $2.19, and I suspect this will not get a bid. And we'll finish on a vintage bargain. This one is sent in by Dan, who already mentioned in the video about multiple Hall of Fame rookies that you might do a video about cards that pack a lot of punch, but not necessarily rookies. I've attached a 1936 Exhibits 4-on-1 card that I acquired recently in a Love of the Game auction. This card features 4 members of the 1936 New York Giants with 3 major Hall of Famers, Bill Terry, Carl Hubbell, and Mel Ott. Bill Terry is the last NL player to hit 400, having hit 401 in 1930. His career batting average is .341. He was player manager for the Giants in 36 and was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1954. Carl Hubbell is one of the most dominant left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball history, won 2 MVPs, including in 1936. He might be most famous for striking out 5 future Hall of Famers in a row in the 1934 All-Star Game, including Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Jimmy Fox. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1947. Mel Ott hit 511 home runs and which was third all-time when he retired. He was a 12-time All-Star, and Ott was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1951. Even the 4th non-Hall of Fame player on this card was no slouch. Gus Mancuso was a solid catcher for 17 seasons, 2-time All-Star, and received MVP votes in 4 different seasons. How did this packed 1936 Giants team do during the season, you might ask? Well, they won the NL pennant, but lost to the Gehrig DiMaggio Yankees in the World Series in 6 games. Hope you enjoyed this card and its history. But that's it for this week's Regular Rollers. Hope you enjoyed. Stay regular, keep rolling, and see you again next time. Thanks, everyone.